This tutorial will show how you can actually add shade cloth or containment mesh to your drawing. You want to start by adding the shade cloth or containment mesh to represent it and show it on plan. You do this by wanting to change the color first that you want the shade cloth to be. You can choose from this layer drop down list what color you'd like it to be. So let's just select this white layer here, and then we can click on the line option and we can turn on ortho to make sure our lines are straight, and we can actually specifically draw the shade cloth going around like that, and then just press enter to close. Then you can annotate this by clicking on the annotation area on the ribbon, and then click on the eye leader option, and you can actually draw the arrow. Let's turn orthogonal off. Choose the color of the text, and then choose the size of the text, and we write in shade cloth. Draw the text like that. We can also show shade cloth, and I can delete this line, that single line, by clicking on the delete option, clicking on the line, then hit delete. Or I can click the delete button and then click the lines. Right click to end that selection and delete it. I can then go to the block area. So under utilities, we go to insert block, and we can browse. So we can actually browse to the shade cloth area. Now the shade cloth options are in this path: iScaf, iScaf 10, parts, bonus, metric, shade cloth. And that is for iScaf 10. And you can draw, you can choose from the different types of shade cloth. So let's just choose number 3. So this is the part that's a little bit tricky. You can move the shade cloth anywhere you want. And I want to just drop it down here, and I want to rotate it. So I've clicked on there to drop that shade cloth down. I click on the actual shade cloth again. Let's zoom out a bit. Click on the shade cloth. We have that little blue dot there. We'll click on the blue dot, and then we can specify what we want to change. So the very first option is actually moving the shade cloth, but we don't want to move it. We want to rotate it. So let's press the space bar until it says rotate. So rotating going this way, going clockwise direction, is negative 90 degrees. So let's type in negative 90 and press enter. So that's rotated that. We can also stretch the shade cloth. So if we click on the blue dot again, press space bar until you see the icon show scale. So now that it's in the scale mode, move the mouse. You can see there, it's actually stretching that. I'm going to actually pan over. See, I can stretch that. I'm going to stretch it to the length of the scaffold. And there is our shade cloth with our annotation. So that's another way of doing it. So in the same way, you can add shade cloth to your elevation drawing. So to do this, we're happy with this. So let's actually save this as our plan. And we're going to build 3D on it. So we want to save this plan drawing as a block. Of course, we right click to build everything. And then we can actually build the elevation as we would normally. Now we've built, this is actually built to 3D. So we click on this icon to build the section. there are tutorials dedicated to creating sections like this. So we drop our section down and we can select our shade cloth again. So let's go back to our insert block option. Let's use shade cloth number 2 and we can drop that down here like that. Obviously that's too long, so we can stretch that in the same way that we did before. We click on the shade cloth, we click on the dot, we press spacebar until it gets to the stretch option, or scale option actually, and we stretch it where we want. It actually stretches from the point of the dot to where you want to stretch it to, so we want to make it something like that length. And let's do this again. We can now move it, so click on the dot again and just move it into position. We're still not happy with that. We want it to be right at the bottom there, so let's just move this to this position. Click on it. Click on until it says scale. And then once it's on scale, you move the mouse and it stretches from that point. There's a little preview there so you can see where you're stretching it to. So there we have it. Let's do one more. Let's do something from the other side. So let's go to insert again and let's insert the third one. And let's put that on the other side. But notice how we want it to be rotated the other way. So we can do that. So we want that little part at the bottom to be actually at the top. So we click on our shade cloth, got the dot there, press spacebar. We don't want to move, we want to rotate. So we rotate. So we actually want to rotate it 180 degrees. So let's just type in 180. It's gone the other way there. There we have it like that. Click on it again. Straight away we can move that. I'm actually going to hold down the mouse wheel to pan and roll the mouse wheel to zoom. And we've got our shade cloth. We can put that into position like that. And again, just like before, we can use our annotation option to make a note of the shade cloth. Let's go 2mm. There is another tutorial that actually shows how you can show the shade cloth in 3D as well. And that'll be in the link.